when we're on. That's a little too bright.
Hello, Gun Nation.
Good evening.
What is up? Hello. Hello, that's me.
All right, so we're definitely on. Okay, great.
We got an ad.
All right, for now.
For now.
Till we all disappear. All right, gentlemen, so how are you? It's Wednesday night. It's that time of the week where everybody on YouTube comes to us for the wisdom that we all have together as a group. So what's going on?
The board of directors.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, all's good. Just getting ready for the chat.
Yeah, trying to. I'm behind on videos, so trying to figure out what's coming out Saturday morning. So that's a challenge. I've got 2 days to make it, so it's going to be a rough one.
All right. Well, I'm never behind because I'm never ahead. I'm just doing my thing, existing. All right. So let's start off this with some fireworks, shall we?
Sure.
Let's talk about the big elephant in the room, the fart in the elevator, and that is, of course, this supposed new attack on gun channels on YouTube. Obviously, there have been some people who have, expressed their dismay, anger about their whole channels being demonetized. So it looks like YouTube has smartened up a little bit, and instead of demonetizing videos, they're demonetizing entire channels. A lot of people are saying it's gun channels. If you guys have been looking into it a little bit, it's not just gun channels, actually. There's been a lot of other channels. Video gaming channels actually have been hit quite a bit as well because of some of the language that's in the YouTube agreements. So I'd like to hear your opinions, gentlemen, on what you think about this, and let's see what everybody else says out there in the chat.
Okay. Go ahead, Chaos.
Well, first and foremost, I don't like for anybody's channel to get impacted at all. There's a lot of work and a lot of time that's put into these, whatever the channel is. I don't care if it's firearms related or video games or whatever it is, right? Everybody has the right to enjoy YouTube as the platform that it was created to be, a place for people to express their views and opinions and share whatever it is with the world. And I say that with a caveat. I do believe there is within reason. I mean, obviously, hate or terrorism, things like that, I'm not for. That's not what it's about. But otherwise, it should be a forum for people to come together and enjoy and share their likes and dislikes and all of that sort of thing. And closer to home, it breaks my heart to see some people that we know get impacted by this. I sit back and think, if that were to happen to me, I mean, I would be, I'd be furious and sad, and all sorts of different things would go on because, again, the time and effort and all that sort of thing, and the demonetization. A lot of people don't really understand what that means or doesn't mean, but we get paid per view on our channels, and as your channel hopefully grows and your videos get a little bit more attention for whatever reason, I mean, things, you start to appreciate that a little bit more. And but all of that stuff, if you're smart, you're rolling it back into the channel, so it compounds itself. So it's more, for us, it's more guns and ammo and targets and better camera gear and all that kind to make the experience a little bit better for all of the viewers. And so when you take all that away, you're taking away the ability for that content to be generated and for higher quality content to be generated and all that sort of thing. And so I think it's unfortunate. Now, when YouTube came out with some policy rules last year, and they were a little bit more clear, especially with firearms related channels, about what their expectations are. I don't agree with them necessarily, but at least there was a little bit of clarity in there. And so, if you're smart, you got to think about how you're setting up your channel and what you can do, what you can't do, what you can link to, things like that, to be able to comply within the rules of the space, because ultimately it is YouTube's pool. It really is. And we're just swimming in it. So I understand that. But if everybody is in agreement with the policies and they make an agreement with us too as content creators, if we're creating content and we monetize it, as long as we're following the rules, we share in the ad revenue. And that's the agreement that we make. That's the partner program. And so again, I mean, I think it's awful that this experience has happened to people close to us. but then people in other spaces as well. I don't agree with, and I think it's a real shame that this is happening. So I've got more thoughts, but somebody else talk for a little while.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is basically the same. I mean, whatever community it's happening to, whether it's gaming, guns, things like that, I don't agree with censorship, period. I understand it is their platform. We're just, like you said, fish on it. However, when it comes to hunting like this, we can end up being fish in a barrel. And I don't want to see it happen to anybody. Whether I like the channel, don't like the channel, I just don't want to see it happen. Especially when we're all in the same community group. And if it happened to me, I mean, I don't, this isn't my livelihood. However, it's a hobby. And, if I get a little extra money for ammo and stuff, it's always good. It helps. And I'm like you, I put it back into the channel. But, we're at their mercy, unfortunately. I think it has to do with, some links that could be added. I know they warned quite a while ago about like putting gun links, where you could physically buy a gun. I think some of the people have still been running those links. So that could have been what it is. I mean, they're not explaining like, here's what you did, and that's the bad thing is it's the unknown. They can just say, oh, we found, that you're not living up to your part. Well, okay, what did I break? So I don't know. I mean, I don't agree with it. It's just, I just think it kind of gives a black eye to anyone in our community, or it can affect all of us. It's not I don't feel it's an I community. I feel it's a we community. That's just my opinion.
All right. So I got a couple of different perspectives on this myself. And, I know us three were having kind of I would say a spirited debate last night about this stuff, because obviously, we're all going to have our own opinions. And at the end of the day, whether you like the opinion that you're hearing or not, it's still somebody's. And, if we want to sit here and kind of argue about that, we can. But here's my take on this whole thing. So I come across this idea of what is YouTube and why are we here? So YouTube obviously is a platform where you can basically upload anything you want that is within reasons, of course, but you can upload what you enjoy doing. Okay, so you can share that with the world, blah, 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 blah. Now, this whole thing with the AdSense money, that's a bonus to it, so in one aspect, I look at it from this standpoint. So if, let's say today I get demonetized, listen, I'm going to be 100% transparent with what I've earned on YouTube. The past 6 months, I've literally earned $200 a month for 6 months. First off, the people who are out there telling you they're not earning anything, who have like 100,000 subs, they're lying to you. That's not true. All right. And the ones who've come out, I know Coda Boy said he makes money off of it, and he's right. He does. We all make money off of this. So it's not like we're sitting here scraping pennies by. These guys who have the large channels, they're making money. They are. Now, the question is, does YouTube have a right to demonetize them depending on whatever the hell their reasons are? Because obviously none of us know what the actual reason is. So I think they do. I mean, I think they have a right to do that. Now, is it fair? No, it's not fair. But the argument that somehow they're eliminating your freedom of expression or speech, that's not true, because you're still allowed to post your videos. Now, whether or not you get maximum playtime or minimal playtime, that's debatable also. Obviously some people are saying they're going to, because they're not monetizing the video isn't going to show up that much. But what you have to realize is that they're getting smarter, because they're not knocking your videos off. They're just taking away your earning ability, and that's it. So they're not hurting your freedom of speech. They're not hurting your freedom of expression, because you're technically still able to upload those videos. So I'm not sure if we can sit here and argue that point. Now, previously, when they were screwing everybody over by saying, okay, this video is bad, that video is bad, that's kind of, in my opinion, the more direct censorship we saw. But they've gotten a lot smarter this time. Now they're saying, we're not going to censor your videos. We're just not going to let you get paid for those videos. So, one of the things that I was telling the guys last night was that, when we were looking to see what was going on, one of the things that came up, if you look at some of their policies in regards to what their, what their expectations are for you to uphold on your end, one of the interesting things they put in this policy, and I just want to read it to you guys really quick. I don't want to read the whole thing, but it talks about you agree not to use the service for any of the following commercial uses unless you obtain YouTube's prior written approval. So in that aspect, it talks about the sale of advertising, sponsorships, or promotions placed on or within the service or content. So does that mean that anybody who has posted a link to, let's say, whatever gun they want to buy or whatever it might be, bullets or, a belt or a holster or sunglasses, does that automatically mean that's you? And if so, technically you've been violating their terms. So they've gotten a lot smarter. And I don't see how, if we're going to sit here and say they're going to, like, for example, if I get demonetized, I'm still going to make videos. I don't care. I don't rely on YouTube to do anything for me. Yeah, I made $200. That was the best 6 months I've ever had on YouTube. Was it fun? Was it great? Yeah, it was a good ride, man. But at the same time, was I ever expecting that to last? No, of course not. So for me, it doesn't matter. I'm not that invested into YouTube. Is it nice to get $200 a month to pay for some ammo to maybe put towards that gun? Sure, absolutely. I don't think any of us here would complain about that or even turn away that money. But at the same time, it's unrealistic to think somehow that this cash cow is going to last for very long, because we know what YouTube is, we know who owns it, and we know they were going to come up with some other solution to deal with the channels that they didn't feel applied to what they wanted. Why is it also some channels, but not every channel? Why are we not seeing like Mr. Guns and Gear being completely demonetized? We haven't heard anything from him. Obviously, there's some large channels that were. But we're seeing kind of across the gamut of who these people are. We've got 10,000 subs, 50,000 subs, 100,000 subs, but there's no rhyme or reason how this is being done. And honestly, I would consider what I just read part of the problem, because if people have been putting those links, you're clicking on that link, you're getting a commission from that link, or you're selling something maybe indirectly on that link. YouTube is going to sit there and say, "Whoa, time out. You're using our platform to sell a product through another company where we're not getting a cut of that money." So then to me, that makes perfect sense why some of these channels are getting demonetized.
Yeah.
I wonder though, I've seen on a lot of different channels, and I don't know how everybody watches. Some people watch on devices, some people watch on computers, that sort of thing. But when I'm on the computer and I get on certain channels, like I was watching Alabama Arsenal, he was doing the review on the Langdon Tactical Beretta, and I was watching on my PC, sitting right here. It was before the thing last night, and below it was a banner that was selling their shirts, and it was through YouTube. So they were selling merchandise.
Right.
Now they might have obtained permission to do that. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I've never tried to sell something, so I don't know. But I see a lot of other channels that seemingly never get touched or impacted at all, selling things. Amazon links, that's a big one. But then other things. I follow a lot of photography and cinematography channels. I'll tell you what, they're some of the worst as far as selling things. They try to sell stuff all the time, and they link to all the different manufacturers and parts and gizmos and lights and who knows whatever else. And so I guess I come back to, and I mentioned this last night, and although I totally hear where you're coming from and your points are valid, they're very valid. And I can't argue with them, but I feel like there needs to be it needs to be fair and equitable. And so, like I said, as long as you are not out and out violating the policies, and here's where it gets gray, because the policies might have been violated, but otherwise fair and equitable. And so if you're a YouTube partner and you're complying with the policies, then leave me alone. Let me do my part. Put the ads on. You guys make 99% on the ads. I make 1%, because people are coming and hopefully enjoying the content. And we all get along just fine, because that's what YouTube, again, still advertises that they do for their content creators, their partners. And so I still believe that it needs to be fair and equitable. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're picking on gun channels, because I think that's naive. As you said, other types of platforms are getting hit as well. Perhaps maybe it is coming down to some of the selling of things. I mean, they were very clear about you cannot link to things like Palmetto State Armory. They sell firearms. People still do it, and they do it all the time. You can't do that. But I've actually gone and since removed my link to Harry's Holsters. He doesn't sell firearms, but I'm trying to remove any opportunity for my channel to be scrutinized and say there, he was violating the policy because there's some link and there's some sale. That it's not true. It's not the case. And certainly, I don't want to violate that. But again, it throws so much gray and so much mystery into all of this to try and figure out, okay, what do we do? How do we do it? Because for me at this point with the channel, it's a business. I treat it as a business, a fun business, something I love. I wish I could do it full time. There's no effing way, but I wish I could, but I treat it as such. And so that revenue, that's part of allowing the business to grow and hopefully get better and reach more people and that sort of thing. And so to me, it's a symbiotic relationship. And when they throw the monkey wrenches in this, it does make you sit back and think, oh crap, what do we do? And how do we comply with things? And what happens if the worst case scenario happens?
So do you mind if I just chime in really quick, and then Big Johnson will give you a chance? But I just want to hit something on what KS just said, the fact that he's treating it as a business. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's obviously plenty of gun channels that do treat it as a business, but I think that's where your logic and their logic is flawed. Because if you're running a business, you cannot expect a third party to do your bidding. You need that capital. That capital has to be given to you by them per se to run this business. So basically, you're at their mercy. Now, if you took your own money and you created a platform for yourself, then you have every right to decide and determine how you want to present that information. But that's not the case with YouTube. YouTube is their own business. It's so we are benefiting by being able to play our stuff on their platform. So the whole business mindset on YouTube, in my opinion, is 100% flawed, because you're basically dependent upon what their terms are, because it's their business. It's not your business. And I mean that again, we're going to argue and disagree to the cows come home, and this. And at the end of the day, what's going to change? Probably nothing, because they are the kings of this castle, and they're doing whatever the hell they want. And it sucks. It's bullshit. We all agree that it is. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. But like I said, they've played their cards right. They got us again, because they hit us on something we would never expect them to do. So Go ahead, Big J.
Well, I was going to say also is, I think that, we are using their platform. I do agree with that, and I know that guys have even made their own websites where people can click on their website, go to it, and buy whatever they want on it. So yeah, you are using their platform, and they are the king of the castle, and you're at their mercy. But what I still have this. I have like 12 or 16 videos that are demonetized. So they're demonetized, and YouTube still runs ads on them. So they're demonetized. They shouldn't have any. It says, not suitable for some ads and stuff. Hell, they run ads on them all the time. I don't get anything on it, and I'm not, throwing a fit or anything like that. I'm just kind of bringing that, if you're demonetized, they shouldn't be able to run ads on it, you would think, because they've said you're not user friendly, or this video is not user friendly. Okay, it's not user friendly, but you're going to run an ad on it. Makes no sense.
Right. That's why this whole thing again is them, basically pissing in the wind, because they don't know how this is going to play out. When they did the initial taking away of finances or whatever it was they were doing initially, when people were getting the flags and all that stuff, it's a game. So they were playing the game. They were trying to see how this was going to play out. There was a huge amount of kickback in regards to what they were doing. So now they came up with a different idea, and now they're doing this same thing where they're just going to throw it out there. They're going to see what the reaction is initially and then go from there. So don't be surprised if this changes again. Don't be surprised if a lot of these channels come back monetized after 30 days, because there's going to be a big public outcry about it. Because again, it's not just gun channels, and they were hitting all the video gaming channels, not because they were displaying content that was, whatever. It was because they were using music. Yeah. And so they were considering that, I think something like reuse of video. Copyright. So they were getting all of them on that.
Well, and I was going to say one more thing real quick. I think another reason that they're doing this, think about it this way. Okay, if YouTube, of course, YouTube is a business. They they run ads. That's how they get paid. If they don't monetize you, guess who keeps all that ad revenue? They keep 100% of it. They don't even pay you the 1%.
Sure. So
that is a huge cost savings that adds to their bottom dollar also. So they could just be like, what? This month we're going to randomly, and those video game channels, some of them get a huge amount of views. I mean, tons of views. So if they don't pay that channel and they do monetize the whole thing, that person probably won't quit YouTube, but they'll still run ads. So they're still making revenue. and they don't have to pay that person anything, not a penny. So they could be doing it that way too, just to save money.
Right, right. Well, and you know, and we don't have to belabor this forever, but you're exactly right. It's their platform. They can do what they want with it. It's their business. They can run it any way they want. And so we have to understand that. It's very true. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's very true. I go back to a couple of things. There's a partner agreement that you enter with, and they are very clear in stating how that works and how the monetization works. And so I feel like if you have this mission statement and these guidelines, and here's what we'll do for you, come be a creator on our channel, they need to honor that, and they need to respect their own guidelines that they've put out and we've agreed to. However, again, it's their business. They can do whatever they want, of course. Now, real quickly, I wanted to read this. RTT Guns and Gear, he made an interesting point in here. He said, but I can also make a business deal on my phone line. The phone company is the platform as well. Why should it be any different than YouTube? It's kind of an interesting concept to think about, because yes, YouTube is the platform, right? They can do whatever they want, but there are a lot of channels out there that, I mean, this really is their livelihood and a big part of their business and that sort of thing. And so it to me, again, it throws everything right into the wind when things like this happen, because all of a sudden, people have to think about, is this going to make a huge impact on my business? I mean, the firearms community, guys, how do they do most of their marketing? Right. It's all here on YouTube, right? So this impacts us all potentially a lot. This is how we hear about all the stuff, the guns, the gear, the training, all of that. I mean, most people come to YouTube for all that stuff. And so when they start taking away all of that, that's taking away your opportunity to learn a lot about what's going on out in the market and hearing other people's views and opinions. I mean, a lot of people have said in the crowd out there that they come to YouTube to hear people's opinions on firearms, whether good, bad, and different, to help them maybe make a choice or feel good about a choice or not feel good about a choice or whatever it is. And you might be taking some of that away. I mean, that, again, it just, I don't know. I've got a lot of.
And the last thing, and then we can always move on if you guys want to, but the last thing in regards to what was said about, what if I did a deal on my phone? Remember, you're not doing the deal through your phone. You're making the connection to do the deal on the phone. With the people who've been posting these links to these places where you get the deal, you're using YouTube to do that. You're not using your own anything. So it would be like, let's say, for example, you start your own web page, you have to pay for that web page. Okay. In this regard, you're using YouTube as the web page where you're posting those links. And again, this is all speculation. We don't even know if this is what's going on. Yeah. But you're using YouTube as that web page, and you're not paying a dime for it. And instead of you paying a dime, you're getting paid. So to me, it makes sense for YouTube to say, not doing it anymore. You guys want to do that? You got to ask us for permission first, which in the language is exactly what it says to do. And I am not defending them. So I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, 1772, whatever. I'm not defending them. I'm just trying to logically go about this instead of starting a panic show where everybody goes and cries about, oh, no, I can't pay for my ammo. Well, tough shit. Pull up your big boy pants, pull up your boots, and do what everybody does. Go to work every day, save a little money on the side, and continue doing your hobby. Because if you stop making videos because you're not monetized, in my opinion, you never, in my opinion, were ever worth anybody subscribing to. And the reason why I say that to you is because this is about us and what we love and what we do. And if you love it enough, you're going to continue to do it no matter what. And if you don't do it, guess what, boys and girls? YouTube wins. And that's exactly what they want to have happen. They want you to self-censor yourself so you don't do these videos anymore because you're not making your money from AdSense. That's it.
No, that's true.
Anybody else?
I'm gonna hold back on some of that. I agree with some. I
want you to go for it. Go for the gusto, my friend.
Nope, I do not agree with all of that. I think perhaps that to an extent, sure, but I think I think there's more to the story than that. It's more complicated than that. And it's not, I mean, you know, some people look at it, and I think when we all started, we were thinking, you know, this is a hobby. It's just a hobby. Throw videos out on YouTube, whatever happens, happens. Who cares? It's just a hobby. But sometimes things go into a little bit more than that. And I'm not necessarily there, but I'm getting a little bit closer to being there and thinking differently about it. But there are some that are much bigger. And again, it goes beyond the gun verse. It's everything out there, and your mindset does change a little bit. And you start to realize, well, this is a little bit more like a business for a variety of different reasons. And so the whole, you know, pull up your big boy pants, I don't really agree with that, because it's more complicated than that.
But I don't think it is complicated. I mean, how could you ever expect to do this and always consistently make out? I mean, there's absolutely no business that has ever been run where you're always winning. It's just not possible. And so to think that somehow you doing this and not expecting at some point for it to catch up to you, I think it's just an unrealistic way to look at this whole thing. You know, and again, Chaos, you know, I love you, man. And you know, we have spirited talks every once in a while, but you know, we're not always going to agree on this. And I don't think we should. I mean, we have a right to disagree on this. And you know, I know you've made these commitments to this, and you can see your growth because of it. You know, I'm not at that point. I've never been at that point. So maybe if I was, maybe I'd have a different opinion. But right now, this is where I'm at, and I'm okay with it. If it all went away tomorrow, I'd be okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't define myself or my existence by YouTube or my channel. I love doing it. I love doing the chats. I love making the videos. I have fun doing it. And, you know, there are times where you have the lulls where you don't want to do anything. And sometimes you want to do a lot. And I think for me, if I ever looked at it past the idea of just being a simple hobby, it would drive me crazy, because to me, it's just not worth it. But again, you know, we're all different, and that's the beauty of this.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, Dennis B donated $5. Thank you, Dennis B.
Thank you, sir. All right, you guys want to stop talking about this?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, we've been on it for 26 minutes.
Each other through the cameras. Fuck you, Chaos.
No, it's just like I said. We can all talk. That's what this is. It's a great, you know, it's a discussion. It's not a, you know, screw you. It's, you know, it's a discussion. So, and you know, there's a lot of good points. There's some different points. I mean, I look at it as a partnership, you know, and you know, if they're going to make money, we should make a little money. But I understand there's rules to that too, and they set the rules. They're the king of the castle. We are just the measly servants.
And lesson learned: stop linking to crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I'd like to see if people stop linking it and then reapply if they get the stuff back. Because I mean, what else could it be? I mean, what else? I'm going to just start. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been going to like the what is that guy's name? James Charles, is that his name?
Oh my God.
I've been going to all of the live counts on YouTube, and I keep typing in subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel. I figured if he's lost like 3.5 million people in 3 days, some of those people have got to be dumb enough to subscribe to my channel. I mean, it's the odds are in my favor.
You'll get a very interesting mix of people coming to your channel.
You know what? Hey, let's roll with it, man. I don't care. So, and that's the other thing. One last thing. You know, if you really want to fight this, and you really, you know, and before you guys lose your sanity on this, everybody out there who watches these videos, do me a favor, go and subscribe to every single damn gun channel that's on YouTube. Get everybody's numbers up, not just the big guys who keep growing and growing, but from the bottom up, so that YouTube will have no choice but to recognize this as an actual movement, because it can't always be about party boys putting makeup on, or, you know, the new toy that this parent just bought for their kid. I mean, there's other things here. So go out, find every gun channel, good or bad, doesn't matter. Subscribe to all of them. And then hopefully from there we'll do better.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all in the community. I mean, it's about us, not I. So we want us to win.
Do you guys see Mateo? Mateo says, with a lot of the crying I've seen here on YouTube, I'm waiting for some creators to have links to Tux or Summer's Eve.
Get sponsorship by Massingale or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about some guns.
All right.
So, you know, the other day I made a video on that, the whole thing about me getting tired of polymer. And that wasn't just me trying to make up a video. All right, it was a little bit. But at the same time, I thought about it and I said, I honestly am getting super tired of polymer handguns. So then, of course, this guy named KS Gun Guy keeps texting me these damn pictures of his guns that are not polymer. And he says, do it, man, do it, do it, do it. And so, he knew I had something in my brain for a very long time. So I may have some big surprise coming probably in the next 3 years. But I'm super excited. It's on its way. Once it's delivered, I will take a picture. It will be posted up. But then obviously you guys know I have a waiting time. And I don't want to say what it is right now. The only thing I will say is that it is not a CZ. It is actually a Beretta, but it is not what KS has got. It's something different. And it's something that when it was first released, I remember saying, man, I really, really want that handgun. But because my state is a shitty state, there were certain parts of this gun that I couldn't own. Well, that has changed. So now it's on its way and I can't wait. I'm super excited and I'm looking forward to owning it.
Nice.
Well, yeah, as far as the polymer thing, hell, I even said that forever ago. I was just tired of polymer guns. They're all similar. I mean, they'll have little different characteristics here and there, but we talked about that a long time ago, and I was just like, I'm tired of them. If it was something that was completely different, it might be a little different, but it's all polymer, fantastics with different brand names on it. Or, hey, here's the new revolutionary one. We added, fiber optic sights. Woo, but it's the same damn gun. So
let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this question. We'll start with this gun question here. Is there one gun that you currently own that you are absolutely sick of? And maybe not absolutely sick of, but just kind of like, meh, who cares?
the Rex Delta.
Yeah, well,
I don't even think you still have that, do you, Kay?
Oh, it's gonna be gone here very soon. I've had a buyer lined up since the day I got it and opened the box. Somebody said, "When you're ready, I want that," and I said, "You're on, my friend." But no, I'm gonna have to think about that because that one doesn't count. I'm gonna have to think.
That does count. It does really count, though.
Yeah, that was a turd from day one. I'm trying to think of something I liked on day one.
The box.
The box, yeah, right.
What do you think, Big Johnson? What is a gun that you just are tired of?
Hmm.
And so far, we've got people saying they're M&P. Somebody's telling me that I bought a P365 steel frame. No, that doesn't.
Yeah, music's saying that I'm sick of my Shadow 2, so I should just sell it to her cheap.
Pete is saying VP9 long slide.
Probably, I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, just because I really kind of like the gun, but I just never ever shoot it. Probably my 9C, my M&P 9C. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the gun, but I just really never shoot it, and it shoots great. I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, that would be it.
What about you, KS? You got anything yet?
I'm to a point where I think I like everything that I've got right now. Obviously, there's some things that will go. That's the nature of the business. But the Delta is really the only thing that sticks out. I have this feeling, the Staccato P, I go back and forth every time I pick that stupid thing up, whether I'm really going to like it or not. So that could be one of those as well. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that Delta. I watched the Firearm Guys video on it today. He did a great job. I like Dan a lot. But there were a lot of comments like, "Oh, it's the coolest thing," and all this kind of stuff. And I just want to be like, dude, pick it up once, and you're not. That's not a thing. But
it's interesting. I just want to get my hands on it just to see, what it's like now that you said all that, because you usually like every gun, and this gun you don't, and I think it's interesting why, just the feel of it and everything else. So I'm curious. I'm curious to get my hands on one to see if it's that crappy or not.
Well, Harry from Harry's Holsters made a comment on the video, and he said it kind of looks like they weren't quite done with it, like it was an almost ready to go, but still prototype. And I think that is a great way to put it. I mean, it's like parts of it were finished and ready, and parts of it were kind of still on the cutting room table when they said, no, wrap it. It's a wrap. Let's go. We need to do something else. That's what it's kind of like.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. What rushed it to market and screwed it all up.
Right.
Well, actually, I thought of a gun that I really don't have any love for, and it's actually a great gun, and it's really kind of rare, and it's the Glock 24. It's the 6-inch 40 caliber, and it's a great gun. It shoots great, and like I said, they're super rare, and I've actually had a lot of people offer to buy it, but I've just been like, no. But it wouldn't hurt my feelings if I didn't have that thing anymore.
Yeah. And then who put this down? So Pistol Pete saying, is the P10C gone? Pistol Pete, you're the winner. That would be the one gun that I'd say that I just have never, I mean, I like it, and it's a great gun. I know you guys love those guns. A lot of people like them. I just have never really felt this this really strong connection to those guns, for whatever reason, and I went back and forth, because the gun that I purchased, but I haven't fully paid for yet, was quite a considerable amount of money for me. And you guys know I'm cheap. So, I had to sell some stuff, and I actually wound up selling that P10C, and I'm okay with it. I didn't cry when it left, and I might actually be moving another gun that I didn't think I wanted to sell, but I think I do want to sell it because I really want this other gun. So I think I'm going to be unloading and bear with me here, boys. I think I'm going to be unloading that Glock 19 MOS, because the gun I'm getting, to me, it's that one gun that probably will spend a lot of time in the safe, but also just have a collector's piece. I don't really have that one gun that I call a collector's piece. I mean, you guys have, shadows and, a TSO or whatever the hell you guys have, all these great guns. I don't really have anything like that. I don't really have that high end pistol. And even the pistol I'm getting, I don't really consider it necessarily super high end, but I think it's really awesome. And it was something that I wanted to get. So I said, fuck it. I just want to sell what I don't necessarily carry much. I've been carrying that damn 19 way too much, actually. So now I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to carry. But then again, I always got the 48 and the Steyr and the Walther. So, and the M&P. So for me, I think it's worth it. But if I had to get rid of one, it would have absolutely been the P10 first. And it was. So.
Well, for me, this would be, I guess this is what, your fourth P10. So I predict you'll have a P10 optic ready.
No, I don't know yet. If I was ever going to go back to the P10, I would like to try a P10S, but I don't think I'd go with the C anymore. And the reason why I say that is because the reason why I got further and further away from being carried was because the grip is too long compared to the other guns I was carrying. So I found it a little bit harder to conceal that gun versus, let's say, the M&P Compact or the 48. I got a 43X coming in. I got a Shield 2.0 coming in. So like there's certain guns that are smaller, and just in my opinion, more user friendly. And I'm still not sure about the Glock 19, but I probably will sell it.
Yeah.
Rolling Thunder is saying Coleon Noir says hipsters own CZs.
Yeah, he did a whole video on it a long time ago. Matter of fact, he did that at that range in Frisco. I knew exactly where I've been to that range where he did it. And yeah, I mean, they've been saying that hipster stuff for a long time, but
Yeah, and I am keeping that 19X. That's not going anywhere either. That's my favorite Glock, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of all time, it's been my favorite.
I really like the 19X too.
Yeah, it's a good gun. So what else you guys got out there? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, they just say Coleon is a VP9 guy, and yeah, he is, because he has his own VP9 line.
Right. So actually, Banshee, and I'm not sure if Banshee is still here anymore. I haven't seen his name roll by for a little while, but he had asked a question earlier in the chat. So hopefully he's still here. But he said, if you're not doing T&E or something like that, so when you go to the range, if you're not testing something, how do you decide what to take to the range at any given session?
Good question. Go ahead, 17, if you know.
How do I decide? Oh boy, I don't know. I kind of just open my safe up and I just grab a bunch of stuff and I say, which one do I want to shoot? I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I mean, if I'm going to do like just shooting and no videoing, is that what he's talking about? Or is he talking about doing a testing?
Yeah, no, not testing at all. Just going to
shoot. If it's a gun I haven't shot in a while, obviously, I remember when I took my PPQ out, it was like a year since I had shot it. And I was just playing around with it. I said, damn it, I want to go out and shoot this gun again, because I had a lot of good experiences with the gun. And I was glad I did. I took it out, and it was, I had a great day with it. So usually it boils down to the guns that don't necessarily see as much daylight as they used to. And, you kind of reminisce on how good those guns were and why you still have them. Because like I said, some guns, they're like a rotating door. You get them, you move them, you get them, you move them. And then there's other guns that you just can't, because you just love them that much. I mean, it's like anything else. You love it that much, you keep it.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I used to be the guy that would pack up, 15 guns like a damn pack mule and go to the range and try to shoot them all, and you're all over the place because you're shooting striker fire, double action, single action, you're just whatever. But now I try to base it on like shooting carry optics, so I'll take carry optics guns. If I'm, trying to get a feel for double action, single action, I'll only take those. If I know that I'm going to shoot striker fire, I'll only take some of those. So trying to get a little more in tune, so that way you're not shooting different types of triggers. Or if you're going to do that, you stay consistent with the trigger group that you're shooting, and then finish with a different one, just to get a feel. But that's kind of how I'm doing it now.
I'm 17. I'm a lot like you. I try and take things that I haven't touched in a long time, just for fun. It might be like the TSO or the Shadow 2 or something that don't get a lot of play, as it were. And I usually take a polymer 80 or two just for fun and to put some more rounds through. But I will tell you, I probably only shoot off camera once a month anymore. And that's it. I mean, I'm almost always filming at the range. So, and that is both good and bad. I wish I could do more off-camera stuff. It's a little bit less stressful, but that's what I try and do.
Yeah, matter of fact, the last 2 times I went and shot, I didn't even take a camera. Well, I had it in my pocket, but I mean, I just did what I was going to do, and because. And y'all all know this. Sometimes when you got the cameras going, you're paying more attention to that than what you really should be focusing on. So, and then I've just put the camera on, turned it on, and just let it go. And then I pretend like it's not even there. I don't even talk to it. And then all of a sudden, if I see something I might want to post, I post it. But other than that, I'm just trying to have some fun with it too, because sometimes filming does take the fun out of it. So. Okay. Oh, we did have a question earlier and it went by, but have y'all ever shot a Derringer?
Negative.
No. I think I've maybe only seen one time.
I've shot an old school. It was my grandmother's Derringer, and I shot it. It was a little break open. It was a 32 shot little Derringer, and the thing was, I mean, it sounded like popcorn popping when you shot it. I mean, it was just crazy, and it was so freaking small. And then I've shot the Bond arms. I shot the 45 long Colt Bond arms, and I thought, man, this will be fun. And it kind of didn't have the tiny grip. It had the medium one, and it wasn't that bad to shoot. But I was just like, didn't really do that much for me. But I've shot those 2. And I don't know what, my grandmother had another little gun, and I'm not familiar with what. I know it was a Colt, and it was a little 32 ACP. I think it held like 5 rounds, I think. And I shot that thing, and that thing was pathetic to shoot. But it did have ivory grips on it, because it's an old pistol. It was kind of cool.
That is kind of cool, actually.
But like I said, I was, I don't know, 7 yards away, and I was getting okay groups, but it had just those built-in sights that were just nubs. So basically it's a point and shoot pistol, and I know that's what it's designed for. But I don't even know where that pistol is. I have it somewhere, and I don't know where the hell it is.
That'd be a good one to find.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worth anything. Matter of fact, I never even looked it up.
Huh. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
If anybody has one in the chat, it's a little Colt 32 ACP. If anybody has one, let me know. I think it's an ACP.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ripcord is asking, you guys that live in magazine restricted states, when you go to your local range, are you allowed to use full-size mags? It depends. Not that I have ever done anything like that or that I would ever do that. But I do know some people that do that, and it depends on the range master and who's there. Some of them are cool, some of them are not so cool. A lot of them are law enforcement, and sometimes you get the guy who's like, "Hey, man, it's all good, whatever," and then sometimes you get guys who are just like, "No, no, no," and then they arrest you. So it really just depends on where you go.
So then, I mean, obviously, if you can't walk up to one of them and be like, "Hey, do you mind if I shoot my 15-round magazine?" I mean,
Yeah.
you got to be careful about that.
Well, like, for example, let's say somebody brought an AK-47 to the range. If it was registered, you're fine. You can carry it. You can have it with you the way it was meant to be. But if it was never registered in New York State, then you can't have it. The question would be then, how do they know it's registered? Or if they say, "Hey, was that registered?" You say, "Yes." What are they going to do? Look it up? They can't.
Yeah.
They need the serial number and all that other stuff. But I wouldn't want to be that guy who gets pulled over with an AK-47 with like a 30-round magazine sticking out of it in my car. It just wouldn't be smart or prudent in the lovely state of New York. Let's put it that way.
You could just say it was a really high dollar paperweight.
Yeah. Or just it's not real. It's a toy gun, sir.
Yeah. Kyla Quiller is saying had a Colt Junior 22, which is imported by Colt from Astra Arms, and memory serves me at 32 was made by them as well. Okay. I appreciate that information. Like I said, I'll dig it out and look it up. Because like I said, I haven't ever I shot it one time and it worked, but the mags are really janky looking.
There was a question a second ago, mischievous misanthrope, and it was directed at me for the Polymer 80s. If I had plans on doing a 45 frame and 10 millimeter, and I don't at this point, partly because the parts and the companies doing aftermarket bits and pieces they're very few right now. So just wouldn't make sense at this time. When things get a little bit more plentiful, we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
If we're not disappeared off of YouTube by then.
Right, exactly.
Listen, we can always do makeup and nails, guys.
Yeah, we can braid each other's hair.
Well, that's not gonna happen for me, so I'm out.
Tactically braid hair.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We could call prison braiding from afar.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
We can infuse our braids with paracord.
Hey, that's tactical, and then you can put your tactical hat over it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Channel Cat's telling you to cheer up. 1776.
Cheer up about what? I'm happy, man. I got nothing to be sad about. I got all the things I want. Great family, great job. I got nothing to complain about.
Except New York.
Real quick, and I don't know if you addressed this question or not. I was trying to catch up here, but Keith Gregory was asking, is it a felony to get caught with a high capacity magazine?
Yes, it is.
It's a felony?
Yep.
Okay. Even if you have a high capacity excuse me, let me rephrase that completely. I screwed up. A regular capacity magazine, and you have it fully loaded, and you have no rifle in the car that it goes with, you just have the magazine, you can be arrested for that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It would be driving around with a bong in your car, but you don't have any drugs.
Okay, what if you could just say I use it as an ammo case. That's all it is. It's just an ammo case.
I don't think they'd buy it. But again, it's always dependent on who pulls you over. I mean, look, it's not, I would never say that every cop is on this whole SAFE Act garbage that's up here.
Yeah.
There are going to be the ones who are, and those are the ones you don't want to get pulled over by.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you can't select them when they do it, and, I've had some really good interactions with cops. And, as a matter of fact, in the local sheriff's office, I was just up there the other day, and the guy who was helping out some people with their permits was probably the coolest guy in that office that I've ever met, because he was saying that the SAFE Act was bullshit. He said that, they should arm teachers. I mean, he was absolutely pro everybody should own a gun, and you just don't hear that much. And it was relieving to hear that coming from a sheriff's deputy up there.
Yeah, your real carry-on. Do I have any interest in revolvers? I actually own 4 revolvers. I just don't really do anything with them on the channel, and they're nice revolvers, but I just really don't shoot them. So I don't want to come across as I'm like the revolver expert. So that's why I don't really do it. Do you guys have any interest in revolvers?
You know, I don't really have an interest shooting them. You know, I was looking at one the other day because it looked old, but I don't know anything about them, so I don't even know if it was like, you know, like an old good one. But it looked cool, and it would be something I would probably hang up somewhere, but nothing I would probably ever shoot.
Yeah.
Just that one, just the that Smith and Wesson, whatever the 969 or whatever it is, that 9mm one. I still think that would be really cool. But I've had a couple of revolvers in the past, nothing fancy. I mean, like a Smith and Wesson J frame, and I think I had a Smith and Wesson, what is it, an Airweight or Airlight or whatever, and I just didn't really enjoy them. I mean, I really didn't. That wasn't much of a thing. I don't like how you grip them. I'm so used to gripping semi-automatic firearms to one degree or another, so they just aren't comfortable for me. So aside from that one, it's just not on the radar.
Yeah, I have, and I was gonna say I had to look them up. I keep a serial number, but I have a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. It's a 27-2. I have two 38 Special Smith & Wessons, model 36, 34 by 48s, and then I have a 22 revolver. So that's what I own. But like I said, I don't really shoot them. I haven't shot those guns in 15 years or longer. So they shoot and they're fun, but
yeah,
just
it's like anything else. Technology keeps advancing, you know.
Right. Yeah, and I remember I shot Bald's Chiappa Rhino, and that was pretty cool. However, and this is how bad I am, that I haven't shot revolvers in so long, and I'll tell this story because not many people know it, and I completely screwed up. It was my fault. He had it on the table and said, "Hey, do you want to shoot the Chiappa Rhino?" I said, "Sure." And he said, "Okay, don't hold it like a regular, you know, semi-automatic pistol because, you know, you'll burn your thumb and all this other stuff." Well, we were talking for a second. I turned back around to shoot it, and what did I do? I grabbed it just like a regular revolver, had my thumb right there, and it blew. I mean, it literally lit up the end of my thumb, blew it open, had loaded gunpowder, and it blood was squirting out of it. And I was like, he sat right there and told me not to do it. I mean, that's how much experience I have with revolvers. So, and I know that it's a little different because it's a Chiappa, but however, you know, it's just one of those things. So yeah, it wasn't fun and it hurt like hell, but you know, stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you won't do it again.
No, it's like putting your hand on a hot stove. You know, don't put your hand on there; it's hot. So you do it, and you won't do it again. No, I definitely pay attention, and I probably need to go shoot those things. You know, I take them out and clean them every once in a while, and just oil them. And but I probably do need to go shoot them.
I think you should shoot your revolvers and make videos of them.
Maybe I will one day. You know, it's not that I dislike them. It's just, you know, I grew up shooting them when I was younger. You know, 1911s and revolvers is kind of what we had. Right. And hell, I have another gun that I don't give very much love to, and it's a freaking great gun. It was my very first gun. It's my Smith & Wesson 439, and it is a fabulous shooting pistol. And what's funny, it was made in 1986, and it has an awesome trigger. The trigger is like so freaking light for the old days, and it shoots incredible. But it's just like, and it doesn't have a scratch on it. This thing's like day one. And I've shot it a lot, believe it or not, but I've just taken really good care of it. And hell, it'll outshoot most of my other guns. But it's just one of those things, you know, you find stuff you like differently and you kind of, but I'll never sell them, you know. Right. They're sentimental and kind of, where if it was a gun that you could just go buy tomorrow, you know, like a Glock or something like that, I wouldn't have a problem getting rid of those.
Right. Yep. So one of the APX, this thing here, really quick. I noticed that large backstrap actually feels better than any of the others. I didn't do that last time. I just put the medium one on, but the large one actually feels better. Makes the gun feel a little bit more even in regards to the thickness of the grip and the slide. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Does it change your trigger reach at all, or is it just the lower portion?
Excuse me. It doesn't really change anything. It just makes the grip actually feel a little fuller. You know, one of the things that I always said about the APX is the grip just feels too thin compared to the slide. But this just gives it a little bit more. I'm going to say this girth to the grip. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to shoot it this weekend.
You don't experience that much, do you?
What's that?
You don't experience that term much, do you?
No, I don't talk about girth a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, that's, and it's funny that you say that. I mean, I shoot a lot of large backstraps, but I know guys that, have like kind of small or medium hands, and they're just like, man, I don't like the small, or I don't like the medium. I really like the large. So I guess it's just whatever you feel more comfortable with and can have the most control with.
Yeah. Sure.
That's like, playing golf and stuff. People don't use standard grips. They use like oversized grips, and they have tiny hands. It's just that they have better control with it.
Yeah.
So, before we get going here, because we got about 5 minutes left, I know as many of you saw, there was another shooting out in Colorado in the schools over there. And interestingly enough, you saw, when they were having the, the memorial for the kid who actually, basically helped stop the gunman. You saw all the kids get up and walk out. And, it was at that moment where I said to myself, my God, maybe, just maybe, we've got people who are waking up a little bit, because they were pissed because they were basically politicizing, why they were there. And they really just wanted to be there to memorialize this kid who sacrificed himself. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was pretty cool to see it. Hopefully it'll make people think, because you notice that it's kind of disappeared from the headlines already, which is kind of sad in itself, because of course politicians always have their agendas, but hopefully that will help, with the idea that guns aren't the problem, that it is mental health that's actually the problem. So
yeah.
Well, and I think it was kids actually standing up for their own thoughts and feelings and emotions, rather than riding a wave that somebody else could politicize and further their own agenda. So that was inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they did it, I actually clapped. I was like, good for y'all. Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing, they were trying to be there for their friend, not there for the political circus that, other people and other, fake news was trying to do too.
Sure.
And, you throw that back and you're like, had people in that school been armed, could they have stopped it without any deaths, without the kids having to charge the gunman, and if you notice, they don't really, because they've talked about the gunman, but they haven't gone into great detail about, who these kids were. And, they haven't, okay, I guess I need to rephrase that. They've said who they are and kind of shown their faces, but they didn't, where I'm going with this, 17.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just leave it at that.
Yes, sir.
But I'm glad about the kids. I think that was a great thing they did.
Mm-hmm.
I wish more would do it.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, so we've got 3 minutes. Parting thoughts. Anybody here want to say anything or do anything at this point in regards to the chat tonight? Now is your chance.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank everyone out there for watching. The family means a lot. And I enjoy these two yahoos. Like I said, it's good that we can have any kind of discussion and, just kind of out there. And I believe in talking out loud and letting people know your feelings rather than just typing a bunch of crap like keyboard commandos do to us. I'm glad that we're able to do this. So I appreciate y'all very much for tuning in to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Listening to us rant and share our ideas, and yeah, we don't always agree on everything, but we're all friends, and that's what friends do. I mean, that's part of the fun of it. That's how you learn and grow and appreciate other people where they're coming from. You always learn some things too. So thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Lots of good stuff coming up, of course. Hopefully, knock on wood. But you guys, thank you again. Really appreciate all of you.
And as always, everyone, thanks for joining us tonight on another edition of Three Guys Chat. You notice over the several years we've been doing this, the name has changed dramatically from what it used to be to what it is now. Yeah. So at some point it may be, three metrosexual men or something like that next. We don't know how we're going to make it. But I just want to say thanks for joining us. Yes, we are allowed to disagree with each other every day if we'd like. I always go through life knowing that I'm always right and everyone else is wrong. So I'm okay with that. But on the grand scale of things, let's just keep trying to fight the fight, guys. Support the gun channels out there. Do the best you can. Don't give up, because that's what they want. No matter what happens, keep making videos. Everyone, have a great night, guys. I'll see you.
Thanks, everyone. Carry on.